Hello, hello, welcome back. This is Purple Poppy, and today I'm going to start a journal, but it's going to be different to the way that I would normally make a journal. Normally I would have A4 paper as a base, and I would, traditionally fold it in half, which gives me 5.5-ish. In fact, let's measure it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 by 8-ish. And then we would obviously make a cover to go around that, or potentially, do a long skinny journal this way. But today what I want to do is I want to look at doing a I'm going to call it a spill out journal. I don't know if they've got a real name. I've seen these done before, and I was reminded by them over the weekend when I was watching a Rach and Bella video, whereby we're going to start with a really small hard book cover. Now this is 1, 2, 3, 4.5, as is this one. So they're both, the same width. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 high, and this one is 6. Okay, they're small journals. I'm not interested in the spines because I'm going to use fabric for the spine. I'm only interested in the front and back covers. This one I was drawn to initially, the whole idea of shorthand and typewriting, which is something that we just really don't do anymore with computers and things. So I think, there's a real slice of history there. But then I was drawn to the red. But I think I'm going to stick with this idea. It's going to depend on what papers I find here. So if we're going to use this blue cover, we are not going to want this red ticking type fabric. That was to go with the red one. I'm going to use this lovely grey and white one, and it's quite thick, sturdy. It's got the whole sort of history look about it. So we've got the grey and white ticking and the blue. I mean, it sits beautifully together, doesn't it? So that is what we're going to be using. This will be the front cover, the back cover, and then this will be the spine. And I will keep this to use as a belly band or something within it. But what I want to find now is the next page, because if our journal pages are going to be these A4 type size, folded in half, that is going to stick out thus far. And I want a middle layer between this one and this one. Okay, so I have got some 8x8 pads here, which I think are going to work fine. It's just finding the right one to go with this. So what have we got in here? Would be great if we still had that butterfly one, wouldn't it? I bet I've already used it. Let's have a little look. See, because I always keep these Tim Holtwicks. You see that bit there, look, is almost identical to the what am I calling it, the ticking fabric. Right, so I'm just turning these over, trying to, oh yeah, see, we have used a bit. I knew I would have done. So you see, at that height it's great, at that height it's too short. So this is where it becomes quite annoying. The tickets are too red. I don't want to use the photos because I've cut that up anyway. See, I'm dreadful. I just chop out the bits that I want. Mind you, I think, you have to consider... Oh, you have to consider that... That might work because of the black writing. Although that looks a bit manly and this looks a bit ladylike, if you know what I mean. So, what about the press letters? You know, the printing press with the typing, maybe. That's been cut, that's been cut. Or the other thing is the clocks. Now that might be interesting. What do we think about maybe the clocks? Because again, we don't really have these types of clocks anymore. I just wish it was a little bit more sort of blue tone. I'm going to take that one out because at least that one's got blue in. And then let's have a look in the other, because I've got two others here. Now that's plum and chocolate, so I can't see that working. But I have also got this one. Now that might work. Sorry, I'm dithering around here, aren't I? When what you really want to see, I think I like that one. What you really want to see is the process, but we will get there. Hang on a second. Let me just, yeah, no. Okay. So it's going to be one of those two. We'll decide that finally in a minute. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have to take our book to pieces. So if I can find a craft knife, you've seen me do this before, I'm sure. So open up the book to roughly, you know, the middle. We want to cut between the stitched book block and the cover. Might actually, as this is so small, be able to do it with scissors. Let's have a little look. So slide my scissors in. Yeah. And also, because I've had quite a few pages out of here already, it's fairly simple. So like that, chop this one away. It's only got a few threads holding it now anyway, so we've got that to use for something else at a later date. Oh look, somebody has actually used shorthand symbols here to draw a horse and a bird. Oh dear, there's a true piece of history there. Right, let's just cut the rest of the block out. And I'm going careful not to damage the spine because, you know, it's habit. Normally we use the spine. The fact that we're not going to use the spine today, we still want it intact. You can see where over the years that's been stacked with other books in the sunlight. So cut the spine off, and obviously this is perfect if you've got books with a damaged spine. So there's the back. This will be the front. Okay, just trim off that extra bit so it's nice and neat. There we go. I quite like, you know, a little bit of raggedy, that's fine. Sweep all that away, get rid of that. And obviously we're going to keep this because we'll use it as a belly band or something. Okay, so now we need some fabric. I want to keep that lovely frayed edge for when I can use the whole of the edge, if you know what I mean. Whereas if I use it now, it'll only be on one side. I'm going to cut, let me think about this for a second. I want at least an inch inside the book cover, and then I want probably 1.5 inches for a spine, and then I want 1 inch. So I'm going to tear it just before that line. Just before that line. These scissors, honestly. There we go. Now that's obviously going to be way too tall. So it'll need an iron as well because it's got a bit curled over at those edges where it's been stored. But it's going to go, we'll put it down there and we'll put it on that line so we know it's straight. And then we're going to go in 1 inch, which is going to be just almost to that seam. And then that is going to go there. So that is plenty long enough. If we trim that about there. Okay, so we have got lovely messy edge. We'll pull off all our strings like so. We want to get some off this end as well, don't we? Because this is a bit straight, this end. So we're just gonna, and obviously keep these strings because they are wonderfully useful. Okay, there we go. It doesn't need an iron now. So if we line up our book cover on our mat, we know it's nice and straight, and there's our 1.5 inch spine that we wanted to allow ourselves. Now because we're using fabric, I'm going to use fabric glue, and I know that I want to run that inch. Okay, like that, and then again on the other side like so, and then I'm just gonna spread that around, and that is gonna give me my complete book. Make sure you remember to glue the fabric face down. Whoops. Line it up with your board. So I want it there. Yep. Like so. Obviously that's going to want a little bit of drying time, and that gives us time to play with our other things. But that is what it now looks like, and obviously it's moving because we haven't stitched any signatures or anything in there yet, but I love it, love it, love it. So we'll set that up there flat to dry while we work on this. Now I'm going to go with this one, I think. Yeah, this is just a bit too busy for what I want. We'll use that another time. So I'm literally going to fold this. It hasn't got a direction, so it doesn't matter. And I'm going to get my metal ruler. And we know that this is 8 by 8. So 1, 2, 3. That is our centre point there. But we've got 1.5 inch spine. So I'm going to go to there. And I'm going to do a score. And then the 1.5 inch is obviously there. So what we have got is the second page, like so. So it's almost like a cover on its own. On one side is shorter than the other, okay? So that will sit in there like that, okay? So it's taller and narrower, but then when we put our signature pages in, you can see it's the same height as our cover, but it comes out a lot wider, and I want to have a scalloped edge, so I will be coming probably, I say scalloped, you know, decal, torn. I will come to about there. So that is how that's how it's going to look, and that's why I'm calling it a spill out journal. I could shape, and I could cut. Can I? No, let's tear it. If I tear margin off the top, that will give us that nice decal edge and that worn look. And I do again at the bottom like so. That's definitely uneven, but that really doesn't bother me because of what we're doing. So now this is a bit more shorter, that's great English, Claire, anyway, than the paper. So page 2 is going to spill out a bit either side or the cover of the signature, whichever way round you want to say it, and then that is going to fit there like that, and then there'll be obviously more papers inside here because it's got to be a full signature, hasn't it? And it's just going to sit like that. I'm happy with that. Okay, now I don't want to work on this any further because I think that is everything it needs on the cover. We may do something to the spine, and I won't do anything to the back. I like the natural aging bit, but I want to work on this second page here, this one. And I think what I want to do is I want to add some lace to it. So I have got two fairly good sized pieces of lace here. I've got this one, which is an old tablecloth, and that is actually almost the same colouring, so that works quite nicely. And I suppose we could cut the rose out, and that would sit on there quite nicely. Or I've got this one, which is an old net curtain. Now that I feel sticks out too far, you know, top and bottom. No, I think I want the rose. So we get our fabric scissors, and I'm going to cut out this rose. Now I want that piece, and I think that piece, but I don't want the others. So having decided what you want, trying not to destroy the other ones, because obviously you can use them for something else. Okay, whoops, my sleeve's getting caught on the pile next to me. So I haven't asked, sorry. Is everybody happy, safe and well? Did you have a great weekend? Spending time off of work, crafting, or with family? Cut right to the top there, and then we can get rid of all of that piece. Okay. So actually I want that piece, don't I? Oh, I don't know. I'll save both of them because I can't remember now which piece I wanted. Very noisy in the street today. Big hefty lorry's just gone past, and of course it's, what I say of course, but it's rubbish day, so there'll be quite a bit of noise later on, which is why I'm trying to get this done before. Right, I don't want to lose too much of that, so I'm going to cut close this side like that. Okay. Now I don't know why I'm singing. Obviously happy. Right, I'm not going to use either of these bottom ones. That's probably why I couldn't remember which one I wanted. I'm just going to use the one at the top. So trimming away at this. Okay, those of you that have seen me do this before will know that when I'm using an element from the lace, I really like to lose all the excess that's not part of that actual element. So I won't want all of this in here. I'll just cut this out. And then I'll have to, because I bought some coffee dyed papers for measurements. Obviously I need to find some interesting papers. I need to find some music paper and that kind of thing. Okay, get rid of these. These won't be wasted. These will all go into my slow stitching box and do some, you know, additional little decoration on bits I'm stitching. Okay, so now this is going to go on here like so. And it's going to hang up there like that. Again, fabric. So let's get this fabric glue out. Open it up so we can see what we're doing. Okay. Now that it's basically stuck, I can go round and tap him and make sure that all areas of it are stuck down. The rest of it will just be basically, you know, a standard journal and making it in the way that I would always make a journal. It's just this spill out layering, if you like, so that it's different sizes. I'll just take my woolly off, it's getting warm in here. Okay, so now we got that one and we got that one. Lovely. And of course, because it's semi-card, it's a little bit thicker. I think we need to run a little bit of ink around the edge there, because it's just a bit too white for my liking. So, and obviously if it's torn and damaged, then it should have some grungy colour to it. So I'll just colour that in. Sorry, I'm not very talkative today, purely because I'm busy thinking about what I'm doing. This is actually a new one for me. I've not done a staggered spill out in this manner, and I'm quite excited to see how it's going to turn out. Okay, so this is now, I'm going to call it our signature cover. I'm probably going to do 2 signatures in here because of how wide it is. And I'm going to stitch both of the signatures through here and through the blue. Okay, So that's going to wrap around there, and that's what it looks like. Okay, so now I'm just going to start to build my signatures to sit in there. Get that knife out of the way and those fabric scissors. Right, so we've got, now what I usually like to do is 5 coffee dyed pages. So 1, 2, whoops, 3, 4, 5, and then we've got a second signature, so 1, 2, looks like I'm running out of coffee dyed paper. Might need to get myself in the kitchen this afternoon. 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so there's our 5 coffee dyed pages. So we need to find our interesting pages. So there's 5 there and there's 5 there. We've got 1 coffee dyed envelope. I've only got 1, I think. So then I'm gonna need, as I say, interesting pages. So let me grab some of them. Okay, so I'm back with some vintage books. So let's have a look. What have we got? So we'll use that one. There's 1. This is quite good, with the men talking. Oh no, it's been scribbled on. This one of that giant T in the text block is nice. So we've got 2 of those. And then this is actually all about modern typing practices. And there's some lovely handwritten letters and stuff in here. So we can use a couple out of this book as well. You can see it's been well used, this book. I quite like that one with the typing. I've got 2 of those. I'm looking for at least 5 to match the 5 coffee dyed pages, because I like to have around 10 pages. So I've got 1, 2. We've got this lovely old diary. So we could use that as a double. Now, where's the next signature here? Is it this one? Right, let's snip these cords and see if we can get the whole signature out. There we go. We can use that one, and then we've got some index pages, and you can tell these are the really old books because you can actually feel the imprint of the print on the page. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got this lovely mulberry paper that's got bits of wood in it. Break that in half. And then I've got beautiful music paper, really, really old. And this is just medium old, if that makes sense. So let's set about deciding how we're going to use these. So my tear ruler, I'm going to tear this one, because obviously you have to get the most out of your supplies. So I'm going to tear that one in half, and then that'll go round like that. So that'll go on that pile over there, and then that one will go back in my supplies, because this is just to die for. So I'm going to tear this. It's French as well, you can see. I'm going to tear this about there. This is almost like a rag paper, this one. And it's got beautiful natural colourings on it. Look at it. Beautiful. And it's even, look, got the rub off of the music sheets. So that one can go on that one. And again, we'll save that bit for another day. Now these are really, really hard to tear. You sort of need to cut these, but we'll give it a go and see if we can, because it's got bits of fibres in it, you see. It makes it really quite hard. That wasn't too bad. That's a real bit of like wood there. That one I'm gonna fold in half again. See, because these are, because we're using almost A5 now, these are quite small pages, but I think that's part of what makes it interesting. And then we've got one of them, and one of them, one of those, one of those. Now this I don't really want to cut up, so I think what I'm going to do here is probably fold it to about there, and then just fold that back like that. That'll be that one, and this I'm going to do the same with. So fold it to there, and then fold that back on itself there. And then this one I'm just going to fold in half. I used to be quite prizzy about the writing going the wrong way, but I've sort of got used to it. Do I want to be folding that picture in half? I don't think I do. So we'll go like that, and then we'll just fold up the bottom. Okay, so let's work on one at a time. So that's going to go that way, isn't it? Right. So first of all, we need to resize all of our pages. Now I deliberately don't want them all the same size, so, but they must now sort of have that crinkle edge. So if I turn them round this way and take a tiny bit off of that one, and a little bit more off of this one, so we get a sort of waterfall effect, but without being, you know, too prizzy about it. So about there. Okay. So finding the size allocation. That one is smaller. You see, they're not perfect waterfall, but they sort of go into a waterfall. And then I'm just going to open them up, put them inside each other as you would normally to build a signature. And then I'm going to intermingle the other papers that we have. So now you've got the waterfall on this side, and then you've got it coming back in on that side. Okay, now I think we'll have this piece to the top. I think we'll have this piece to the bottom. So then you're going to open, actually the other way round, this piece to the bottom and this piece to the top, because you can semi-see through this piece, so you can see the line. So that goes like that, that goes like that. I thought there was something adrift here. There you go, that goes like that. I think we're going to put this one smack bang in the middle there. I'm going to go two, right, I'm going to put this one wrap round because we've got a double. Okay, and then this one I'm going to put in the middle, and I'm going to put it in that way. So there is our signature. And then this one, I'd like to keep the whole of the page. So what I'm going to do is just turn over a small amount like that. Try and make sure it's straight. Whoops. And then that I'm going to put there like that. And then we'll be able to add something onto the back there. So that is our first signature. And can you see what I mean now about it all sort of spilling out? So that's that one. So we're going to do exactly the same to the other one. Now, what happens to the envelope? Anyway, they're the nice papers, and there's the envelope. And these are the ones that need to be trimmed. So we're going to go wide on that one. A little bit less wide. A little bit less again. Almost non-existent, like that. And then I'm going to do a really wide one. So out there. Okay, we're going to do exactly the same again. I just lay them between. And okay, I appreciate I've been here 45-ish minutes, almost an hour. But in an hour, I'm going to put this one around there like that. Okay. In just under an hour, we have managed to get the bare bones of a journal put together, which I think is pretty awesome. And then obviously we can spend time decorating up in all of the individual pages, and that's what's going to puff it out so that it ends up it's going to end up, you know, filling the space that we allowed it. I'm actually going to put that one in the middle, put this one here, and then that little one. I'm actually now going to take that crease out, crease it over long and thin, and put that in the middle like that. So there we go. That is our second signature. Hey presto, whip whap, we've now got this spill out journal. And whilst obviously that doesn't overly fill that yet, once we start getting all of our, you know, ephemera and stuff inside, it's going to be really big. And there you go, that is my version of a spill out journal. I hope you found some joy and inspiration. Stay safe, pop back soon to see how it grows. I'll see you later. Bye for now.